piece up at .com right now where they break down and rank the top 50 players in college basketball as we head down the stretch of the college basketball season. So make sure also that you're following because there's going to be great content as we get closer to March Madness. But let's go through this list, specifically top 5, Jeff. And we'll start at the 5 spot. Who did you guys go with here?
So when we did the voting, we both had Braden Smith at 5.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, hold your fire.
We'll put him up there now, but we can discuss.
That was before the 3-game losing streak.
Right.
His numbers have been solid during the losing streak, but obviously, his defense has been in question.
Yep.
He's been targeted by opposing teams, in pick and rolls, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward, if I was to pick a number 5 for the rest of the season, I would probably go with Darren Peterson. To pick a number 5 for what they've done for the first 3 months of the year, I think I would go Kingston Flemings from Houston. I think he's been tremendous. Obviously, he had the 42-point game last week. He has been sort of the best player for a top 10 Houston team that looks like it's going to be a Final Four contender again.
Right.
He's been tremendous. He's been one of the big surprises in the freshman class. So I think from what he's done so far, what he projects to do moving forward, I think he'd be my number 5 right now.
The outstanding freshman performances that we have seen, I think, have overshadowed some of the other returning production that we have seen from guys like a JT Toppin, for example, or like even a LeBaron Philon at Alabama. Those guys have taken the next step in their game, but there are just so many great freshmen. Kingston Flemings is one of them. We'll leave Kingston there in the 5 spot right now. Let's move on to 4 right now.
I would go with Caleb Wilson, North Carolina.
Okay.
He entered his college career kind of behind that big 3 of Peterson, Dybantsa, and Cameron Boozer. And
right.
I think he's closed that gap, both from a college production standpoint and an NBA standpoint. I just think he's shown a lot more than he did in high school from a playmaking, from a defense, from a motor perspective. So to me, he's putting up 20 and 10 seemingly every night. He's just been tremendous for Carolina, who has righted the ship since that little early January slide they had. So for me, he's comfortably at number 4.
The pick and roll has been an issue defensively for North Carolina and Caleb Wilson at large. But right, him, Henry Visar, double machines there in Chapel Hill. So Caleb Wilson at number 4. Let's move on to number 3 here.
I'm going with Joshua Jefferson, Iowa State. He may be the most improved player in the country over the last 2 seasons. Former St. Mary's transfer. Got to Iowa State and just became a kind of completely different player.
Yeah.
He's shown a lot more offensively than he did at St. Mary's. He has 2 triple-doubles this season.
Right.
Might be the best playmaker on the team, might be the best defensive front court player on the team, scores in the post, scores from 3. And he's sort of the linchpin at both ends of the floor for an Iowa State team that, once again, is in the top 10 and is poised for a deep run in March.
We all know who's going to go at number 2 and number 1. Were it not for those 2 players who we're going to put up there, he's in the National Player of the Year conversation,
100%,
right?
yes. I think that just from a numbers perspective, from a team impact perspective, I think he belongs in that conversation for Player of the Year. I do think the guy we have at number 1 has a comfortable head start right now, but I do think Jefferson, he's been the best returning in college basketball for sure. Okay,
you went with A.J. Dybantsa at number 2, Cam Boozer at 1. Tell me why the difference between those 2 and where they were slotted.
I just think Boozer's been more consistent from day one. Even his off nights, it's 19 and 12 and 19 and 10. He's just so consistent for a Duke team that has 1 loss all season by 1 point at Madison Square Garden. Dybantsa, he's put up numbers, and he had a tremendous game last weekend, 43 points. He did have 24, 25 against Arizona. It was not efficient. He had some struggles, especially in the second half. And so he can kind of go through those lulls where, he's forcing shots or he's not getting his shots consistently. His December was incredible, one of the best months we've ever seen from a college player, let alone a college freshman. But he just has had more, down moments than Boozer has. To me, Boozer is just, from day one, has just been so consistent. We talked about the freshman performances last week.
Yeah.
Boozer doesn't really get mentioned. He had 30-plus points back-to-back games, and it just seems like kind of another day at the office for him. His production is on level with Cooper Flagg last season.
I don't want to say that a narrative is starting to build around Dybantsa right now in big game performances, but to your point, we have seen him not play up to his level. Over the last week, he's played his best game of the season against Utah and maybe his worst against Arizona. So how big of a game is it for him maybe to inch up a little bit closer to being that number 1 pick today against Kansas?
It's big, and we need to see him to do it for 40 minutes. He's had big game performances. He played really well the second half against Clemson, really well second half against UConn. Can he put it together for 40 minutes against a really good team on the road? To me, that's going to go a long way toward closing the gap on Boozer for 1 in college and 1 in the NBA.
The 5 that we have up here, it's a very malleable list right now. As we already saw, we have booted Braden Smith out and put Kingston Flemings in. YouTube chat, we know you're following along. Please hit us in the comments. Let us know where we went wrong.